They maxed out my credit card to throw a baby shower I didn't even know was happening, one I wasn't invited to, and then turned around and bought my brother a luxury car using my graduation bonus. Appreciate the car, but rent's still due, you know, my mom said, like she was talking about leftovers. I didn't respond. I just quietly locked down every account I had and called the bank. At exactly 3:12 in the morning, the street cameras caught the next chapter of this mess. When I first saw the $4,300 charge from Baby Bliss Events, I figured it was some scammer using my card for a fancy baby party, champagne fountains, maybe some designer onesies with gold thread. Fraud, I thought. That had to be it. But the truth came from my sister. "Oh yeah, that was for Ashley's shower," she said, totally casual. "Just made sense to put it on your card. I mean, you weren't coming anyway, right? I wasn't invited. I wasn't expected. I wasn't even thought of." They spent weeks planning that thing. Custom cookies, lakeside venue, fully catered brunch, and they never said a word to me. Everything was booked in my name, run through my credit card, and no one even asked. I didn't fight it. Didn't ask for the money back. I just said, okay, smiled, and quietly left the family group chat. That happened on a Tuesday. By Friday, another alert popped up. This time it was worse, $18,000 sent to White Glove Imports. They bought a brand new BMW 3 Series, under my name. That money? It was supposed to be my graduation bonus. I'd never even seen it. They gave the car to my little brother. "Appreciate the car," my mom said over the phone like she was thanking me for handing down an old toaster. Then she added, "But rent's still due, you know." I didn't yell. Didn't ask how or why. I just opened my banking app, froze every account, flagged the car as an unauthorized charge, and called the credit card company. That same night, at 3:12 a.m., I got another notification. Multiple blocked login attempts. Then the fraud department called. Then silence. But street cameras don't lie. The next morning, I pulled up the footage. There he was, tall, hoodie pulled up, face all too familiar. My brother. 3:12 and 47 seconds. Staring straight into the camera as he tried the handle on my front door. But this didn't start with that baby shower, or the car, or even the stolen graduation bonus. It started way back. The first time I paid for pizza because you make the most. The first time I offered to cover the electric bill after Dad's freelance work dried up. The first time my sister joked, "You're single, what else would you spend it on?" And the whole room laughed like she'd said something sweet. And I laughed too. I took pride in it. Being needed felt like being loved. But I was wrong. I wasn't loved. I was just useful. Looking back now, it's so clear. They built a whole system around me and gave me a role to play. Not the son. Not the brother. I was the bank. The fixer. The walking safety net they never had to think twice about. That night, I went through my texts, my emails, my bank statements. Line after line of charges I hadn't approved, some I barely remembered. $1,200 for a family vacation I didn't know they took. $600 for a bridesmaid dress. Not mine, my sister's. Monthly fees for a family gym membership I never signed up for, the same one my brother uses twice a week, tagging me in his check-in photos like we work out together. And then a memory hit me. One that cracked it all open. 2 years ago, Dad had heart palpitations and landed in the ER. I was out of state, dropped everything, drove 6 hours to be there. Sat in that ugly green hospital chair, holding his chart like I knew what I was reading. Mom showed up last. Stood in the doorway and said, "You're here." Not, "Thank you." Not, "We needed you." Just surprise. Like she didn't expect me to come, or care if I didn't. Then she turned to my sister and said, "Thank God you stayed calm. He always panics." They've never really seen me. Not for who I am. Only for what I give. Money. Convenience. Even that BMW, my BMW, was never called a gift. Just the least I could do because my brother was starting fresh. Fresh from what? He still lives at home. He's failed 3 majors. He once asked if HTML was a type of password. But he's always been the favorite, the baby, the golden boy. And me? I was the fixer. The quiet force keeping everything running. And they fed off that. And I let them. Until now. As I dug through folders of credit statements, circling every questionable charge, I started to realize the truth wasn't just in the numbers. It was in the pattern. Every time I gave, they took more. Every time I stayed quiet, they assumed it meant I was okay with it. Every yes made them stop asking. I wasn't their family. I was their funding. And the moment I stopped providing, I disappeared. They didn't call when the accounts froze. Didn't check in when I flagged the car. Instead, they tried logging back into my accounts. They tried resetting my passwords. They even emailed my assistant pretending to be me. They weren't confused. They were panicking. Because the system had collapsed. And they didn't know how to rebuild it without me. That night, I sat alone at my kitchen table, surrounded by printouts of every charge tied to them. With a red pen, I crossed out each one like I was grading a test they didn't bother to study for. Ashley's shower, $4,300. White glove imports, $18,000. Langley Spa and Wellness, $760 under mom's name. Dapper Gents Barbershop, $220. Recurring charges for my brother's beard trims. Recurring. Like rent. Like habit. Like entitlement. And then I saw it. The final nail. A note scribbled in the corner of a grocery list from last month. Mom's handwriting. Check if Chase can up his card limit. We'll need it for the cruise. The cruise I never heard about. They scheduled it the same week as my birthday. No invite. No heads up. Not even a passing mention. And absolutely no shame. I laughed, not because any of it was funny, but because it was just so wildly ridiculous. They were about to spend my money, again, on a trip I didn't know about, and they weren't even trying to hide it. That's the moment things shifted. I stopped thinking like a son. And started thinking like a strategist. I launched my plan just after midnight. Not because I had something to hide, I just needed peace and quiet. Total silence to operate in. I powered up my laptop and logged into all the systems they never bothered to ask how I'd built in the first place. The smart locks on their house? Registered under my company email. The cloud cameras they use to monitor packages, babysitters, even those raccoons in the backyard? Those were set up by me. The insurance policy? Tied to my employee ID. The family phone plan? 5 lines, none of which were mine. Everything they depended on, all the digital scaffolding they just assumed existed, was something I had quietly built from the ground up. So I started dismantling it. First target, the BMW. I called the dealership. Told them the vehicle was bought with a corporate bonus issued through my job. It was never meant to be a gift. I had documents proving I was the legal owner and that the purchase wasn't authorized. There was a pause. Then the rep checked the account. It's still under your name, he said. Would you like us to initiate a repossession? Yes, I said. Tonight. By 2:46 a.m., a flatbed truck pulled up quietly in front of my parents' house. The dashcam caught everything: hook, lift, and haul. My brother must have heard the clanking. He ran outside barefoot, yelling like it was the end of the world. I didn't bother watching the whole recording. I stopped right when he went silent, standing there helpless as the truck disappeared down the street. Next step, the accounts. I logged into every banking and credit platform I used, Chase, Wells Fargo, Amex, and froze every authorized user. Canceled every auto payment tied to them. That $4,300 baby shower? Reported as unauthorized. The gym fees? Reversed. The cruise deposit? Disputed and credited back. Then I pulled up my master list, every app, platform, and tool they touched. Streaming services? Gone. The family Amazon Prime? I booted every other user off. The cloud photo storage where they kept all the family albums? Password protected. Apple ID subscriptions billed to me? Wiped out. I wasn't doing this out of spite. I was doing it with precision. Then came the family phone plan. I sent a transfer of ownership request to every number. One by one. My mom, my dad, my sister, my brother. They had 72 hours to accept. If they didn't, their phones would stop working. And then I made the big move. The one that would really shake the house. The mortgage. They'd long forgotten I was listed as a cosigner. Or maybe they just chose not to remember. 2 years ago, when they needed help refinancing, I was the one who made it happen. They promised it would just be temporary. So I called the lender. Told them I wanted to initiate a split in financial responsibility. The guy on the other end recognized me. I'd helped his company recover internal server credentials a while back. "You've got a file on this," he said. "I do," I told him. Kyle kicked off the reassessment. "If they can't carry the load alone," he said, "they'll either have to restructure or face default." "Then let them restructure," I said. I'd done my part. I closed my laptop, got up, stretched my arms and legs. It was 5:12 a.m. By 7:40, the calls started rolling in. First was my brother. "The car's gone," he snapped. "Did you do this?" I didn't reply. Then my mom. "The cameras aren't working. The app says the account's been deactivated." Still nothing from me. Then a group chat message. "Why can't I log into Netflix?" I sat at my kitchen table, sipping coffee, watching the fallout unfold. One notification after another, like flares going off. An hour later, a voicemail came in from my dad. "Is this supposed to mean something?" he said. "This is childish. Grow up." That's what people say when you finally stop letting them walk all over you. By noon, the panic spread. I got an email from one of my mom's friends. "Hey, Sharon's freaking out. She says you're cutting her off. What's going on?" I sent one reply, "This isn't your business." Then blocked her. At 2:03 p.m., a text came in from my sister. "I need the Hulu login. It's finals week." I started typing. Deleted it. Typed again. "You're not my dependent." So she fired back a thumbs down emoji. Then a second one. Sarcastic this time. By sunset they all knew. The system, the one they lived off, was gone. And I was the one who pulled the plug. But I wasn't finished yet. Because what they didn't know, what they never bothered to know, was just how deeply I'd built into their lives. Their tax accountant? I brought him in. Their cybersecurity software? Chosen and installed by me. Those filters on Dad's email to block out phishing scams? Custom-coded by me after he almost clicked on a fake Bitcoin wallet ad. So I started extracting myself. Admin rights? Revoked. Encryption keys? Vendor contacts? Erased. By the time the sun came up again, their entire digital infrastructure was hollowed out. Then came the meltdown. My mom called me 21 times. Her voicemails started off confused. Then angry. Furious. "You don't treat family like this. We made you. We trusted you." My dad didn't call. He went formal. Typed up a letter like it was a legal notice. "We request the immediate restoration of all services currently disrupted under your management. If not, we will pursue legal action." I laughed. Not to be cruel. Just because it was so surreal. He thought this was a contract. He really believed I was a service provider. That's when I sent everything to my lawyer. Every charge they'd made behind my back. Every text. Every screenshot. Every ignored warning. "Do you want to take legal action?" he asked. "No," I told him. "I just want them locked out. Permanently." That's what I told my lawyer. He understood exactly what I meant. Then I made my final call of the day. I dialed the local hardware company, the one that installed my parents' security system. "Hi," I said. "You set up a system for the last name residence?" "Yes," they said. "I'm the one who paid for it," I told them. "I'm canceling the service, effective immediately." They didn't even ask why. No questions. No apologies. Just threats. The first voicemail came in at 6:41 a.m. My mom. Screaming. Not crying, just full-blown fury. "You're being completely unfair. I can't believe you do this to me. After everything we've done for you, this? Cutting us off? Leaving us like this, humiliated? You think we're just gonna sit back and take it?" I didn't respond. Then came a text from my dad. "Restore access to the accounts immediately, or I'll make sure the rest of the family sees who you really are." That phrasing stuck with me. Not, "Let's talk." Not, "We're sorry." Just a threat. Obey. Or else. At 8:14 a.m., My sister jumped in. "I'm telling people you're having another breakdown," she wrote. "You're spiraling again. Don't push me." There was that word again. Every time I set a boundary, they acted like I was unstable. Saying no? That meant I was losing it. Refusing to be used? Clearly, something must be wrong with me. I didn't reply. That evening, they switched up their tactics. My aunt posted a picture from the baby shower, the one I paid for but never got invited to. The caption read, "Family is everything. Grateful for those who show up, not just those who pay." I nearly laughed. They were trying to rewrite the story, flip the script, make themselves look like victims. But they forgot, I had receipts. The next day, the phone started buzzing with calls from unknown numbers. Friends of family, distant cousins, even people from their church. "Hey, your mom said you're not doing well. Your dad mentioned you got hacked, that the frozen accounts weren't your doing. Your sister's worried. She said you might hurt yourself." They dressed it up like concern, but it was manipulation. Weaponized pity. They weren't reaching out because they cared. They were laying the foundation for a smear campaign. Still, I said nothing. Just silence. Deliberate. Unbreakable. And that silence? It drove them crazy. Because without someone to argue with, they had nothing to twist. No yelling? No villain. By the fifth day, my mom showed up at my door. She pounded like the door owed her something. I watched her through the peephole. No makeup. Hair a mess. Wearing slippers. Phone in one hand, waving a printed spreadsheet in the other. I didn't open. She screamed through the door. "We needed you. We needed you, and you walked away. You think you're better than us?" And then the shift. "This is Ashley's fault. She told me you were acting strange. She pushed us to use your card. She manipulated me." The pivot. From dominance to desperation. From blame to playing the victim. A full-blown emotional circus, and I hadn't even bought a ticket. Still, I didn't open the door. Eventually, she left. I found the spreadsheet she'd shoved under the door. It was a breakdown of expenses with little red notes scribbled in the margins. Reimbursable. Family share. Agreed. Some just had question marks. They'd already burned through $22,000 of my money, gifted my brother a car, and left me off the guest list, and now she wanted to settle things with highlighters and fine print. At 9:14 that night, she sent one last message. "You ruined this family." No punctuation. Just venom poured straight from her fingertips. And I felt nothing. No anger. No sadness. Not even relief. Just stillness. Because for the first time in years, I wasn't being pulled into the chaos. I wasn't reacting. I wasn't explaining. I wasn't fixing. They weren't screaming at their son, they were screaming at the loss of their infrastructure. The person who quietly held the entire thing together had finally stepped away. They thought my silence meant I was ashamed, that I wouldn't speak up, that I wouldn't dare pull the curtain back. They were wrong. I didn't send a reply. Didn't send a warning. I just posted everything. First up, the transactions. A scroll-through carousel of screenshots. $4,300 to Baby Bliss events. $18,000 to white glove imports. Marked as delivered to my brother Jacob on May 17th. Text from my sister. "You weren't coming anyway. Chill." A message from my mom. "You don't have a family of your own. You can afford it." I added one simple caption. "They blew my graduation bonus on a BMW. I wasn't invited to the baby shower I paid for. And they called all that fair." Then I leaned back and watched the fallout explode. 10 minutes in, 800 likes. 20 minutes, 100 shares. By lunchtime, 13,000 people knew exactly what my family had done behind my back. But I wasn't finished yet. Next, I dropped the PDF of the dealership invoice. My name listed as the sole buyer. A notarized letter disputing the charge. The email confirming the repossession order. The BMW's VIN ending in 7629. Repossession verified. Caption: They told neighbors it was a gift from some minter. The minter? That was me. And I took it back. Then I posted the video, a clean 30-second clip straight from my building's security feed. Timestamp, 3:12 a.m. and 47 seconds. My brother in a hoodie. Trying the door code. Looking dead into the camera lens. No mask. No hesitation. After the accounts were frozen. After the car was reclaimed. After the silence hit. Things went nuclear. Thousands of comments poured in. DMs from strangers flooding my inbox. This is financial warfare. You're not the villain. You're the firewall. I hope your whole family sees this. Twice. But not everyone stayed quiet. At 2:41 p.m., my mom's friend posted. It's sad when family drama plays out online, especially when people twist the truth. So I twisted it back. I posted the spreadsheet. Every charge marked with family use. Every password reset they tried after the locks were changed. Even the call logs from their burner phones trying to reach my work assistant. Caption, not drama. Documentation. By 4:03 p.m., my dad had deactivated his Facebook. By 4:17, my sister locked down her Instagram account. By 4:29, my aunt deleted a passive-aggressive post from 2 weeks earlier that read, "Some people are only generous for attention." Then the story caught fire with a local blogger. Finance. Family. Betrayal. It had bite. She asked for a quote. I gave her two. 1. I didn't destroy this family. I removed myself from a system where I was expected to fund a fantasy and stay invisible. 2. I was never the problem. I was the silence that hid all their secrets. The article went live at 6:12 p.m. Headline, The Son Who Said No, How One Man Froze a Family Built on Financial Control. They didn't take it well. At 7:03 p.m., I got a group voicemail, my mom, dad, and sister. They thought they hung up, but didn't. Mom said, "He thinks people care. This'll blow over in a day." Dad added, "He better shut it down. We still have friends watching." Sister said, "If he thinks this makes him powerful, just wait." Wait for what? More lies? More threats? Because then came the final straw. An anonymous email. No sender name. Just a subject line. How does your employer feel about hackers? Attached were forged emails accusing me of vendor manipulation, using templates I'd created for them years ago. They were trying to destroy my career. I didn't flinch. I sent the whole thread, metadata and all, to my legal team. They traced it back to my brother's home Wi-Fi. Game over. But I still wasn't done. Because I knew what they feared most wasn't exposure. It was validation. So I dropped the last post. A black screen. White text. They raised me to believe silence meant love. That sacrifice meant loyalty. That quietly helping made me good. But they don't get to decide what good looks like anymore. You don't get to rewrite the story once the receipts are out. No hashtags. No names. Just the truth. And this time, no one could screenshot it out of context. No private messages to erase it. No whispers to the neighbors. He's just sensitive. Because now the story wasn't theirs. The balance had shifted. For the first time in my life, I wasn't their son. I was the source. The proof. The exposure. The power. And they knew it. The next day I got one message. From my aunt, the one who said I was just bitter. 3 simple words. You went public. I replied. You went too far. They didn't come angry this time. They came rehearsed. Sunday, 10 p.m. I watched them through the peephole. Mom in a soft sweater. Dad wearing the button-down he only wears to funerals. My sister clutching a store-bought pie like a peace offering. I didn't open the door. I opened the window instead. Whatever you rehearsed, I said, cut it in half, then leave. My mom blinked. Dad forced a smile. My sister stepped forward. We're here because we don't want to fight, she said. You already did, I told them. You lost. We were under stress, my mom said. We said things we didn't mean. No, I cut in. You meant every word. You meant it when you called me a failure. When you said I was a burden. When you spent my money and told people I was unstable. You meant all of it. You just didn't expect me to fight back. Dad stepped closer. It's family, he said. Things get messy. It wasn't messy, I said. It was surgical. You planned every swipe of my card. Every withdrawal. Every lie. Then came the line they'd been saving. We just want to be a family again. I paused. Looked down at them from the second-floor window. You don't miss me, I said. You miss what I gave you. You miss the fixer. The buffer. The system. They didn't deny it. They just looked tired. We're trying, my mom whispered. No, I said. You're negotiating with the consequence. Then I gave them what they came for, the final word. The end of the show. I didn't leave because of the money. I left because the moment I stopped paying, I stopped existing. Silence. My sister looked like she wanted to cry. My dad looked like he'd aged 10 years overnight. My mom held that pie like it weighed 50 pounds. No more access. No more platforms. No more dinners. No more chats. No more second chances. This isn't estrangement. It's release. I'm not your provider. I'm not your redemption story. I'm just done. They turned away without a word. As they walked back to the car, I whispered, just to myself, not loud enough for them to hear. You didn't lose the card. You lost the cardholder. And I closed the window. Not with a slam. With relief.